Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, nerds. You're listening to an episode on the Nerdcore podcast feed. If you're feeling generous, please consider pledging to a tier on our Patreon at patreon.com/thenerdcore. We have tiers as low as $1 per month. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerdcore podcast. The podcast reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 296, and it is your second review for Martin Scorsese Film Month here at the Nerdcore. And today we are discussing the 1988 film, The Last Temptation of Christ. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda. How are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. My name's Sam Becca. I just quantum leaped into Brad.
Oh, God, I can't wait to talk about this movie, dude. Probably the only time we will ever discuss religion on this podcast, and it's because of this movie. But yeah.
So this is the ticket we punched to get sent to hell. I got you.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, dude. We are going to be serious, man, but, we got to make jokes somehow, It's in our nature, man. But how are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing. I wish, though, you would have told me how long this fucking movie was yesterday, because I had time to sit down and at least watch half of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to tell you, and then I forgot. Then I realized you didn't tell me how long Casino was. So, fuck him.
You know how long Casino is. You've seen Casino before.
I've never seen this one before, so I was like, I didn't know what else.
Yeah, but you know how long Casino is. We know Scorsese.
Yeah.
And I should have guessed it, but I was like, this is an earlier movie. It's not going to be that long.
Dude,
and then I go to rent it on Amazon. I'm going, dear Jesus Christ. And yeah, it was Jesus Christ.
I just want to check. Hold on. How long is Goodfellas? Because that's next week.
Ooh, probably the fucking same.
Yeah. 2 hours and 28 minutes. That's not as long.
It's a little shorter.
Yeah.
But it's still 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours. And then I think The Departed is 3 hours.
I think that's one of his longest, dude. 2 hours and 31 minutes is Departed. And then The King of Comedy is, I believe that is 2 hours and 20 as well.
Can this man not make a short movie?
Nah, man. Oh, actually, King of Comedy is 1 hour and 49.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I don't mind a 3 hour movie here and there, but if it's yeah, you got a 3 hour movie every fucking week.
Yeah,
we're just gonna watch Seven Samurai again 4 times.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
It's all leading up to The Irishman. And you remember how long The Irishman is?
3 hours and 15 minutes or
30
something
minutes.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just that is a flex. I'm just saying that is Scorsese flexing his nuts all over Netflix.
So y'all were excited about Endgame being 3 hours? Well, guess what? I'm just doing a 3 hour and 30 minute.
Hey, I give it to him though. At least I don't have to sit in a theater and miss shit when I have to go take a piss.
Oh yeah, of course, man.
I can pause it and I can come back.
Yeah.
And play it.
Yep. I was looking at the Museum of Fine Arts here plays a lot of films, and they're actually showing a couple of films that I really want to watch. Remember that trailer we talked about, Hidden Life from Terrence Malick?
Hidden Life from Terrence. I'm sure we talked about it.
Yeah, it's about
right now.
It's about the what's it called, the I believe it's a farmer who refuses to give his land basically pledge allegiance to Hitler. So they sent him to jail.
What's it called again?
A Hidden Life.
I do not fucking remember this at all. You
Yeah.
sure it was me you were talking about?
Yeah, because we talked about the trailer and we were like, holy shit, those camera movements are weird. Really documentary style. That movie's 2 hours and 53 minutes, man.
What is this? Our director's just becoming more and more of, hey, y'all, I'm going to keep you in here for the whole day.
Dude, I feel like just...
they not understand we got shit to do? We got lives and
that's great.
Homework and all that.
I can just imagine somebody coming up to Marty and you could try to cut a little bit. No, I think I'm gonna go ahead and. No,
Why do you
I'm not
sound
gonna
like
cut it.
fucking Bugs Bunny?
I'm not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna cut it.
Does Martin Scorsese sound like Bugs Bunny? Is that a thing?
God, no, but I'm just trying to imitate Martin.
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc? Gotta love Marty. He's great. We're gonna go ahead and get into this, though. Enough bullshitting around. I want to go ahead and get into this. So, I want to go ahead and preface a couple of things. This movie had a lot of controversy. So,
But why? What date was this made?
88.
In 88, why was this controversial? I don't. Maybe the Judas part, like the whole way they switched the story on Judas.
What they
But
were,
I don't get why the rest of it was controversial, because it's literally in the title.
Yeah.
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah. So what a lot of people had and I'm gonna go ahead and read the whole controversy here. So a lot of what people had. Do we need to throw up a spoiler for this? I mean, it's the story of. It's the story of Christ.
Well, it kind of, sort of. I mean, it's The Last Temptation of Christ, which was technically another book and not based on the biblical. Like, we all know how the story of Christ ends. I mean, anyone who's been around, like, America and church.
Yeah.
We know the ending of that story, which is why I never understood why people cried at the Mel Gibson version.
The Passion of the Christ.
I got called a dick, so I mean, I guess so. I don't know.
All right. Well, look, I want to address the controversy, and then we can go into introducing the film and everything. But we'll talk, and then we'll throw up a spoiler warning if we have to. On October 22nd, 1988, an integrist Catholic group set fire to the St. Mitchell Cinema in Paris while it was showing the film. A little after midnight, an incendiary device ignited under a seat in the less supervised underground room where a different film was being shown. The incendiary device consisted of a charge of potassium chlorate triggered by a vial containing sulfuric acid. The attack injured 13 people, for whom were severely burned and severely damaged the cinema. Now, the general controversy about the Last Temptation of Christ is as follows: The Last Temptation of Christ, a eponymous final sequence, depicts the crucified Jesus tempted by what turns out to be Satan in the form of a beautiful child, experiencing a dream or alternate reality where he comes down from the cross, marries Mary Magdalene and later Mary and Martha, and lives out his life as a full mortal man. He learns on his deathbed that he was deceived by Satan and begs God to let him be God's son, at which point he finds himself once again on the cross. At other points in the film, Jesus is depicted as building crosses for the Romans, being tormented by the voice of God, and lamenting the many sins he believes he has committed. Because of these departures in the gospel narratives, and especially a brief scene wherein Jesus and Mary Magdalene consummate their marriage, several Christian groups organized vocal protests and boycotts of the film prior to and upon its release. One protest organized by a religious Californian radio station gathered 600 protesters to picket the headquarters of Universal Studios, then parent company MCA. One of the protesters dressed up as MCA's chairman Les Wasserman and pretended to drive nails through Jesus' hands into a wooden cross. Jesus Christ, y'all. Evangelist Bill Bright offered to buy the film's negative from Universal in order to destroy it. The protests were effective in convincing several theater chains to not screen the film. One of those chains, General Cinemas, later apologized to Scorsese for doing so. Mother Angelica, a Catholic nun and founder of Eternal World Television Network, described Last Temptation as the most blasphemous ridicule of the Eucharist that's ever been perpetrated in this world, and a Holocaust movie that has the power to destroy souls eternally. Jesus Christ, y'all. In some countries, including Greece, Turkey, Mexico, Chile, and Argentina, the film was banned or censored for several years. As of July 2010, the film continues to be banned in Chile, the Philippines, and Singapore. All right. And just in case you guys are wondering, it did garner Marty a nomination for Best Director. So...
I bet you that got all their pennies in a bunch. But
yeah,
I just got to say for that first one about the
incident,
bombing or burning in France.
Yeah,
you know the French don't need any reason to fucking burn shit down.
Still, that's so. It's just this stuff. It's like it's so dumb, dude.
But when you say 1988, I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a more 60s, 70s thing to me to be happening.
Also, like, a lot of the criticisms I heard was that, it made Jesus look like a wimp. It makes him look because their interpretation of Jesus is to be this very divine, without sin, and this one actually shows him to actually kind of have sin.
Have they not read the book?
I don't know, dude.
Like the man was afraid going into the crucifixion. Like it literally tells that out when he's in the garden and he's asking God, to not have him do that.
Yeah.
So he was fearful. So there's nothing. I'm probably gonna get a shit ton of comments going. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right. So that I just wanted to do the controversy, and we'll talk about it more as we continue on the review. But I want to go ahead and throw up the spoiler warning just in case you guys don't want to spoil this movie. But I think that we should having this conversation and then watching the film is easier than watching the film and then listening to this conversation. I think it's easier that way. But whatever you guys decide.
Yeah, because if you just listen to this conversation, you're just gonna hate me.
Yeah, but I want to go ahead and throw up the spoiler warning, and I also want to say, we're really opening the can of worms here by discussing the idea of religion on this, and there are things we're gonna say that you might not agree with, and things that I'm gonna probably say that you guys might just not like what I say. But I just want to.
Do you mean like Jesus wasn't white, bro?
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, Jesus was not fucking white. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, he was not white at all. I don't care if that makes you mad, for sure. But I just want to point out that we're here to have a conversation on a very incredible film, a piece of art that should be analyzed and discussed. And if you cannot, if you are easily, offended as some of these people that were when they did some of these heinous crimes and protested a movie just for being a movie, then I think this is the episode you might want to skip. And
send all your hate mail to Straw Hat.
Yeah, but if you are able to have an intellectual, theological conversation on the story of Christ and this film, then I want you to keep on listening to this episode. But I'm just putting it out there so that way nobody gets mad at me. But I chose this film with expecting the worst. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about this movie. And the spoiler warning is in effect in a 5. Oh, shit, I don't have my spoiler noise in here. I guess I'll just have to make it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's pretty good. That
Yeah?
wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Close enough.
All right. The last...
Before you get into it, though.
Yeah.
I want to hear from Tony. I don't know if Tony's seen this movie.
I don't think so.
But I want to hear Tony's opinion.
Oh, I would really like to hear this opinion on this
Tony,
one.
you got 3 hours to kill, man, because we got a movie for you.
Yeah, that's great, man. Tony, you got 3 hours to kill? Because we got a movie for you, man. Yeah, this is interesting because I don't know if
I'm going to make a segment where it's just called Hey Tony.
Hey Tony.
Just shouting out Tony to do shit.
During the live show. Yeah, what's it called? A segment called Hey Tony. Do we got a movie for you? Yeah. This is going to be interesting because I've never really had this conversation with Tony about religion in general. So it'd be interesting if he's going to listen to this and going to realize that, oh man, you're what's it called? My cousin probably has some of the same views I do. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this. All right. The Last Temptation of Christ is a 1998 epic drama film directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Paul Schrader, and uncredited rewrites from Scorsese and Jay Cox. The film is an adaptation of Nikos Kazanakis' controversial 1955 novel of the same name. The film, starring Willem Dafoe, Harvey Keitel, Barbara Hershey, Andre Gregory, Harry Dean Stanton, and David Bowie, was shot entirely in Morocco. Yeah, David Bowie.
Where is David Bowie?
He was the Roman emperor who was talking to Jesus.
Shit.
Yeah, that was Bowie.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't even notice.
Me too, man.
Fuck. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna Google this.
Like the novel, the film depicts the life of Jesus Christ and his struggle with various forms of temptation, including fear, doubt, depression, reluctance, and lust. This results in the book and film depicting Christ being tempted by imagining himself engaged in sexual activities, a notion that caused outrage from some Christians. The film includes a disclaimer stating this film is not based on the Gospels, but upon the fictional exploration of the eternal spiritual conflict. Like the novel, it was based on the film-generated controversy of the time of its release from Christian religious groups who took issue with its departures from the gospel narratives contained in it. Although a box office failure, it received positive reviews from critics and some religious leaders upon its release, and Scorsese received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Director. Hershey's performance as Mary Magdalene earned her a nomination for the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. Peter Gabriel's music score also received acclaim, including a nomination for Golden Globe Award for Best Original Score. All right, Brad, let's go ahead and open this up with our initial thoughts on the film.
My initial thought for right now is, after looking at this Pontius Pilate, is I could not even tell that was David Bowie.
He looks like one scary motherfucker without the makeup, bro.
I mean, it didn't even dawn on me until now. I'm looking at it with a close up. I'm like, that's David Bowie.
100%, man.
Must be the hair.
Must be the hair. So this was the first time I've ever watched this film, and
same.
And I want to say that I've watched a lot of faith films, you know, from talking about like the epics of Cecil B. DeMille, and, you know, Ridley Scott's Exodus, Gods and Kings, The Passion of the Christ. Not one of those films ever made me connect to the characters depicted in them like this film did. This film shows very much the humanization of Jesus Christ, and I think if I would have watched this film back when I did not have the set of beliefs I do right now, I probably would be more of a Catholic man. But this movie was something else, man. I think this was one of Dafoe's best performances. There's just like moments where he's just so into the role, and it's like, holy shit, man! Like you're on fire, man. Like it's crazy. It's how great he is. And I think that Marty does an amazing job with directing this film. There's just points where I think that we definitely could have cut. And I think that was just a little bit of self-indulgence. Like, I'm going to make...
You think?
I think he was just like, I'm really going to make an epic on y'all. I'm going to literally not cut shit.
Man pulled a Kurosawa Seven Samurai. That is what this man did.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to put this shot on Dafoe's face for 2 minutes.
Yup, pretty much, man. So, Brad, what are your initial thoughts at the moment on The Last Temptation of Christ?
I mean, I went into this movie not knowing what to expect. I was kind of expecting, like, you know, the whole Mel Gibson, Passion of the Christ, but a little less violent.
Oh my God,
in that sense. Yeah. That's what I was expecting, and that's kind of what came about. But I really enjoyed that they took it a whole different way. They didn't just focus on the crucifixion.
Mm-mm.
They actually went back and they kind of showed a part of the story that we never got really told. Like, you know, during Jesus's, you don't really know about Jesus's childhood or like when he first becomes a man. You're like, here's Jesus as a baby, and then here's Jesus as a 33-year-old.
Yeah,
that's basically what you get.
Huge time jump, man.
So they actually go back and they try to kind of, I guess, put something there to lead up into the crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really well done. I mean, and I know a lot of people didn't like this, as you were telling me, because they made Jesus look kind of like a coward, like he was fearful, and that's not what you usually get from your Lifetime TV movies or stuff like that. Is usually you get like Jesus just striding in, ready to get crucified, and
like the divine man. You know, they never show the actual human side, which is, I was watching a lot of interviews from Martin Scorsese, and he was like, yeah, I wanted to concentrate more on that human version because that's the one that we really do relate to. Because
and that would be to me, that'd be the Last Temptation that I think would be the hardest to give up, because I think it's even said in the Bible. It's like Jesus was asking not to be crucified when he was in the garden. Like, he didn't want to go until he knew that was his responsibility and what he had to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like this movie did that very well. And The Last Temptation, I mean, that's Satan trying to pull the ultimate trick, is like, I'm going to let you live out this life, this life as a man, and not the Messiah, not God. I'm just going to say you're not that, even though you are, because, I'm fucking Satan. Anyways, here's 60 years. You lived an awesome life, but Israel's burning.
Yeah.
And Jesus gets up from basically on the edge of the grave, a man, and he goes outside and he asks God, put me back on that cross.
Yeah, and an amazing monologue from Defoe, dude. Just he's like, I'm ready. I'm here. I want to be the Messiah, and it's like, holy, like, it's just this movie. Defoe is incredible in this movie, man.
No, I kind of get. I guess I kind of get where it's controversial for people because they show Jesus having children.
Yeah,
but that's the whole man part of the side. And technically, he really didn't have children. He was just tempted.
Yeah.
Like, that was the last temptation. It's in the literal title. I don't get how people don't get this.
I honestly think, Brad, that the only moment where I would see people getting really mad, though, I think is one of the moments that flew over their heads more. So when Jesus, confronts Peter when he's doing the gospel, and he's saying that he died on the cross, and he's like, no, I'm right here. I did not die. And Peter even basically tells him, like, it doesn't matter if that was you or not. These people need to hear it so they can have something to believe.
It gets the people going.
Yeah. I thought that was more of a reason that would make people mad, not the whole...
And what I thought would make people mad, what really caught my, I guess, eye and ear, was when he asked Judas to betray him.
Yeah.
Because it's always been told to us that Judas betrayed Jesus. Like, he just straight up just, like, gave him up for 30 pieces of silver. And in this, it's Jesus actually asking Judas. I thought that would be the more controversial aspect, not the whole last temptation, which is literally in the title.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting, the whole, what he took with that part and, like, just be like, I need to die on that cross, so I need you to betray me. Like, that's the only way it's going to happen. And it just, Harvey Keitel basically telling him, like, you looked at my eyes and you told me to betray you. And he goes, you told me to betray me.
That makes you question was, because Judas was there from the very beginning of this movie showing. Mm-hmm. Like, was that his, like, biggest supporter, or was that, his last enemy? I mean, and it really brings up those questions, like, I guess you can interpret these things different, but, I mean, and that was the thing to me that I figured more people would get controversy from. Not the whole Jesus having family thing, because he didn't really have family. That was just
a temptation.
Just Satan showing him, this could be your life.
Yeah. So I want to, kind of bring up the fact that, Judas being played by Harvey Keitel. I thought that was, dude, oh my God, man.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but I didn't hate it.
Oh, I did. I loved it the whole time. Just Judas having a fucking New York accent, bro. It's like,
hey, you're the blind man. Look at him.
Look, it happened. It happened. Jesus gave him sight. Jesus gave him sight. Oh my God, man! It's just I loved it, dude, so much. It was great, and I really had to point that out, dude. I think that Barbara Hershey as Mary Magdalene was incredible. She was amazing in that role, dude.
I mean, I thought it was really great until they quantum leaped her.
Yeah, I was like,
I get the whole point. Like they're showing that she saw God and then she dropped dead, because that's how it's portrayed, is when you see God, like, your brain can't understand it, so you just drop dead. But to me, it looked like a scene straight out of Quantum Leap. I'm like, oh, Sam Beckett was...
You know what that scene reminded me of?
What?
Do you remember in Force Awakens where Rey is holding on to Finn, and then the Millennium Falcon comes down and her face is just going all white? I was like, is the Millennium Falcon here for Mary Magdalene?
I'm not the only one who was like thinking a totally different show on that scene. It's just like, and this is just going to freeze time. You're going to see lightning bolts. Sam Beckett went to 1963.
Oh my God, man! But so, like, I really like the whole interpretation of Jesus. You see him at moments where he's angry, dude. Moments he's angry. He's sad.
That's the thing, though. Like, if people get mad at that portrayal, it actually happened. It's in the Bible where the money exchangers, like, he went ham on them. He fucked them up.
Yeah. He did, man. And it's just, to me, that's more of a relatable version than just all right, man, I'm here, I'm ready to get whipped and put on the cross.
Yep.
Like,
Put me that way. Let's make this trek for fucking 2-3
yeah,
hours.
I connected so much to him just breaking down in that garden and being like, why are you making me do this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to die. And it's like you really see him contemplate the idea of being even worthy to die on that cross for this man. I think that's just it's more nuanced, but it's also a more interesting portrayal than just strictly following the Gospels when adapting them to screen.
Well, and I mean, technically, this kind of did follow. This to me was, I mean, pretty spot on when you think it's just we never got that portrayal. We always got like the divine side, like you said.
Yeah.
We never got in the part of him that was man.
Yeah.
Ever shown. It's like it's always been like, okay, I gotta go.
See you guys.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time to get up on that cross. And I just some nuances, like you said, in this movie, like you catch and you're like the very beginning, like Jesus is a carpenter, like we know that, but they're showing him making the crosses that these people are getting crucified on by the Romans, for the Romans, and that totally throws in a whole different kind of mindset, like, oh
yeah, like is he strong enough to hold on to his convictions, man? And it's like this whole movie is us analyzing if he really feels like, if Jesus really feels like he's strong enough to carry this burden.
And I really think you need a New York Judas sometimes to step in and say, hey!
What the fuck are you doing? Don't make these fucking crosses anymore. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, God, so many people are going to be mad at this, man. But fuck them with their man. Sometimes you got to laugh at the things, man. You know, you got to laugh at stuff, and you got to really smile through the...
Then they haven't watched this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, you just get in there, and Harvey Keitel just strodes on screen, you know, and you're looking at Judas. You know, Defoe plays a really, really convincing Jesus Christ and doesn't have like that accent. Keitel can't hide that accent for the life of him, so he just goes with it.
And the Sermon on the Mount is another great scene with Defoe as Jesus, man. He's great. Also, your message made me laugh so hard when you said, "Damn, baptizing used to be a party back then." Holy shit!
Like, cause I've been to multiple like churches that baptize. Like, I've been to a Baptist. Catholic, I've seen all that. There ain't no naked women bobbing their head up and down like they had a rock concert, man.
I was like, God.
They get wild.
At first, I forgot that was John the Baptist. And then I was like, oh, wait, yeah, he's baptized. And then you just see these people just going ham, bro.
Like, it's a party. It's not like, it's not you just getting some little drops on your baby's head. It's like full on tilt. Like,
and hugging them and embracing them. Yeah. So that's God. I thought that was that part was even though it did come off a little bit silly, it was really interesting though. It was really interesting to see it portrayed that way.
I mean, it's a portrayal I've never seen before.
Yeah, me same. I'm watching the Gospel according to St. Matthew right now from Basilini, and John the Baptist basically just regularly just drops water on his head, and that's it. He just taps it. That's it.
Now when you're watching this, do you think back like the Godfather scene? And just like,
oh man,
as they're baptizing the kid, just shots ringing out. And like,
gotta say, that's one of my favorite scenes, though.
That's it's fucking really terrific. I have to admit.
It's terrific, man. So there's other. I wanted to bring up the fact that I think that Scorsese does an incredible job with the way he interprets this, and it was sad that there was a lot of death threats aimed at Scorsese. I mean, there was a lot of anti-Semitism thrown at people.
I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, I know people might get angry at us on this because we kind of joke a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, this movie. It tried to portray, I think, a lot of what was in the Bible. Mm-hmm. How it was said. Like, I don't think Scorsese came out here trying to make a film, you know, that was going to demean the story of Christ. I really don't think he was trying to do that. I think what he was trying to do was like, and to me, it's kind of brilliant in a way, is what would the last temptation of Christ be? I mean, we've gotten the whole, the temptations when he was out in the desert and all that. Like, we got that. But what would be the last temptation? Last temptation would be to be man.
To be a man.
To live his life.
Yeah, just Defoe asking the girl, like, I'm not the Messiah? And he's like, no. And you see that, like, that look, and it's a little look on Defoe that it's like relief in a way.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to die.
Because he's not ready for it until he sees everything that happened.
I mean, because you gotta remember, he's only 33.
Yeah.
I'm like almost 33. Like, you know, we're living into our 80s now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, back then you were lucky to even get to 25, bro.
Yeah, so if I like was killed at 33, I mean, yeah, I might feel a little bit of hurt, regret, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I understand. So I also understand that some people had a problem with them not taking the dialogue strictly from the Gospels too, like. Which,
yeah, like I accept.
Yeah.
Or it is. I forget what he said, but usually they say it is done.
It is done, yeah.
It is done, and it was like accepted, or it is accomplished. It is accomplished.
Yeah, he doesn't do. He doesn't say, "Forgive me, Father, for they know not what they've done." He only says, "Forgive me, Father," and that's it. But yeah, like I thought that was a really nitpick. I think that's a little bit too much for you guys to be looking into that and not wanting to criticize the movie for that. I think because it's just a different interpretation of what the life of Jesus would be, the human form. And you know, it wouldn't. If you want a movie that really does,
I didn't even take into account that.
No, I didn't.
Because what I mean, it did catch me. It is accomplished. It is accomplished. That caught me because I'm used to it is done.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I didn't feel like, oh no, they betrayed the whole story.
Yeah.
That one word.
I also thought it was really interesting for that basically the ending would be for you to see the film reel. It's like the film reel coming off and you're just hearing the church bells in the back. Like, oh, okay, I get what you're going for there. But yeah, man, I think that this movie is a lot of balls from Martin Scorsese to do this. Also, I didn't say how much it made. It had a budget of $8.8 million and it made $7.7 million.
Actually, well, Wiki's saying $7 million and box office $8.9 million.
Oh, sorry, I got them mixed up.
It didn't really make any money.
Nope, didn't even make it back. They owed a lot of money probably. What's it called? I also want to point out that I was listening to a interview with Defoe talking about this movie later this year, and he says that for a while they weren't casting him at all for this. You know, it's not like he said that.
I mean, and I kind of looked up because many people who like portray Jesus, like it's like a curse sometimes.
Yeah,
so I was like, did William Dafoe like lose a foot or something? Like,
yeah.
So I'm looking it up. Nothing really happened except his career, was stunted.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most ballsy for a director and a actor to take on the story of Christ, because it's like you're either gonna do it really, really well or you're gonna do it really badly, and either one can really hurt your chances of your career moving up.
I mean, and in my opinion, this was done really well, but people interpreted it a totally different way, at least from what I'm seeing. Like, there might be people who disagree with us. I'd love to hear from them, see their interpretation. Yeah. I mean, again, I'll bring up The Last Temptation of Christ is in the title, so that's where I'm coming from, is like, I kind of went in expecting, and when they got to that scene and the little girl said, I'm your guardian angel, I'm like, fuck you, you're Satan. I know you're Satan. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I want to go and end it I want to end it with something that I want to say before we go into the scoring. But I'm not a religious person, and I'll go ahead and say that right off the bat. I'm not a religious person, but I think seeing Jesus sad, seeing him depressed, seeing him angry, seeing him basically going through the stuff that us humans go, it connects more with me, and it's like, if this is supposed to be the Son of God who created all of us and made us into this vision, he should know what it is to feel these very human, very human attributes and characteristics. He should be depicted as being sad. He should be depicted as being angry. He should be depicted as having as loving and being and engaging in pure and a very beautiful form of love, which is consensual sex, and I don't see a problem with that. I don't. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I think that when you take these aspects that are very human it's when you connect to some of people like me who, you know, finally for once connect with this figure in this film. So I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. But, you know, I wanted to say that before I end it. Because, you know, I thought it was important for me to say something like that. And, Brad, let's go ahead and move on to scoring unless you want to say something before we get out of here.
I mean, might as well say it. I'm in the same boat as Roel, so if you sink his ship, I'm going down with him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm more spiritual than I would say religious.
Yeah.
In a way. But to me, nothing offended me in this. And I love the human portrayal they showed.
It offended me that
that's something you never see. You always see the divine. You never see his human side, and that's what really Scorsese brought out of this with Defoe. Is you got to see him cry, and you got to see him be like, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And you think about it, if you know you're going to die, and you're just walking into there, you're going to be afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to want to go and walk into the lion's den. You're really not. You're not going to go strolling there like, yep, I got this.
Yeah. And if you marry in those times, what was the one thing you had to do? Procreate. And how do you procreate? Well, it's by fucking. So that had to happen too. So let's go ahead and get into this, man. Let's go ahead and score this film. I believe I gave, what's it called? I believe I gave Casino a 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I like this a little bit more than Casino. But I would not put this in the realm of like Taxi Driver. Perfect. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's perfect, and I don't think it's. I think it's one of Scorsese's best movies. I think it's one of his most riskiest too. But
it's different. It's definitely different.
Yeah, I'm glad I chose this one and a more different one from. I'm glad that you chose the mob stuff.
You say that now until our views go down.
Oh well, man. If people can't take it, you know, this is what we're here, man.
Such is art.
Such is art, man. Such is art. If this is the last time we ever get views on an episode, then so be it, man. At least I didn't act fake at least I didn't play it safe.
Hey, man, we started off with 4 views in 3 months, so fuck it.
Fuck it, man. We can go back to 4 views in 3 months. Yeah. Yeah, if you hate us for this, then I'm sorry, man. We were never the podcast for you.
You know, and if you are feeling enraged and, you know, take a deep breath.
Calm down.
Get on your computer. Message us. You know, message us not in like a whole fuck you piece of shit. No. Actually form an opinion in your head.
And talk with
us. Talk with us. We're willing to talk. And who knows? We might see it from your side and agree with you on things.
Yeah. Yeah. But just calm down. Take a deep breath. And just talk with us. Calmly and respectfully, just like we would talk with you. But I'm going to go ahead and give The Last Temptation of Christ a nice 9.25 out of 10. You know, it's not Scorsese's, like, best of the best of the best. It's no Taxi Driver, but it is a really good effort by him. And I got to put it up there as one of my favorites from him right now. So, Brad, what is your score for The Last Temptation of Christ?
Really, the only issue I saw with this movie was some of those long...
Yeah, that's what offended me, man.
Long freaking... Yeah, right? It's like, here's Defoe's face for 20 minutes with the crown on his head. Like I'm staring at my watch. I'm like, I mean, I get it. Like, I see his face. I see it, Martin. I get what you're trying to say. Let's move on.
Oh, yeah. Just come on, man. We don't need to see him walking for 10 minutes.
I'll rank it right up there with Casino. I'll give the same thing. I think... What did I give Casino?
9.25.
9.25? I'll give it 9.2.
All right, man. Yeah, it's definitely... I just think that, what's it called? Both of these movies are so different, you know? And it's just... I really enjoyed both of them.
It's good to see range, though, from him. Because, you know, mostly I'm into his crime thrillers and gangster movies. That's kind of my choices because that's all I've really seen from Scorsese except for Taxi Driver. Yeah. And I mean, this was something way, way, way different than I'm used to from him. Yeah. And he didn't fail me. I mean, there were moments where I'm going, dear fucking Jesus, Scorsese, we get it. You're making an epic. We get it. You're pulling a Curacao on me here.
I love what I'm looking at. Damn it, bro.
I gotta go talk about this afterwards. I can't be here at like 10 o'clock at night. Like, come on now.
Come on, let's speed it up a little. Oh man, but you know what? What's it called? Judas. What's it called? Bronx Judas itself gets a 10 out of 10.
That character, I think you should write just a script for that character. Just throw him into a random movie, like Bronx Judas just comes out. Hey,
God,
look at this guy. Look at this guy. He held the blind. Like, yeah.
Oh man, and then I can't wait till when we talk about the King of Comedy. It's more of a like psychological crime film, but it's not an actual mob movie. It's just a really different movie from Scorsese. So let's go ahead and get into nice old housekeeping, shall we, Brad?
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
Let's go put the nails in our coffins.
Yeah. As we decline in Patreon supporters, we're probably gonna need a lot more of y'all. Nah, I'm kidding. We're not gonna decline. I believe the Patreon supporters are very respectful people who love us for
I think Tony's going to give us more money, though.
Yeah, you might actually start spreading the word to all my other cousins. Like, you know what, guys? I think you guys should definitely get these guys. Help these guys out. That's gonna be great.
Like even just for the ladies in our course.
Yeah.
Shout out
to ladies.
Ashley and Daniela, because that last episode.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
That was some serious topics. You guys should go listen to that. And shout out to Ashley for sharing something very
intimate,
and
yeah.
I mean that's very brave and probably something I wouldn't even be able to even get close to sharing.
Yeah, I love that what we do for people on this podcast and really give them the space to talk about these things in a very safe manner, and know that we support them through anything and everything that they do. So it's I think that we do incredible work here, and I'm glad that we have somebody like Ashley on our team.
I can't wait for our one listener.
Yep, Ashley, you gotta help us out now because we're gonna lose all the listeners. So you
send the listeners our way, Ashley.
Send them now our way because your show is the only one that's doing well after this one.
Actually, no, your wrestling, like that last wrestling episode. My God, man,
they like the wrestling, bro. But
they like the wrestling. I'm glad
anything I'm gonna be on now is basically gonna get shat on. So All right, man.
I'm there in the trenches with you.
Yep. I'm glad that you were able to. I'm glad that you're gonna want to go down fighting with me, man. So.
Yeah. I started it with him, might as well.
Yeah, might as well. But yeah, go listen to Ladies in Nerdcore. They're definitely better than us now because they're not gonna get shit on for this. Patreon.com/nerdcore to help us out and really support the show. I promise you guys, this is gonna be probably the first and last time we'll ever talk about religion on this show. So don't worry about it, unless we get another epic.
We're gonna try.
Yeah. Yeah. Associate producers and the executive producers are awesome. They're really the ones that make the show happen, just like all our Patreon supporters. Go follow Cassie and Sarah. Go shout out to Cassie and Sarah, but follow Grayson and Shane because they're the executive producers. Grayson, you can follow him at WarlordHim98 on Twitter and Grayson Barker98 on Instagram. Shane is on what, Brad?
Twitch.tv/SWRKK or Twitter at SWRKK Twitch.
All right, man. Go and check out the merchandise at www.teespring.com/stores/the-nerd-core. And go and rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choice. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to go and give us a star, but don't worry, I understand.
It's okay.
But if
at least you reviewed it.
At least you reviewed it. But if you would like, go and 5-star that bitch. It'd be great.
And then just like we said before, talk to us.
Talk to us. Talk to us, man. I can't wait for Tony to put up a post about this. I really do want to hear his thoughts.
It's like, you guys are motherfuckers.
Nah, Tony's going to be like, man, y'all are going to get a shitstorm today from these people. But
wait till we review The Passion of Christ. Oh, I know how it ends.
Yeah, I can't believe people cried. And you're telling me that people cried. I'm like, you know how it ends, man.
And this was like friends, too. And they're like, Brad, you're
You're a dick. It's like, what?
I read the book.
Oh, man. Go and check out the Twitter at the Nerdcore _ Instagram at the Nerdcore. The Facebook group, the Nerdverse, the official Nerdcore group, and nerdcore.com is our website and our YouTube channel where we post podcasts and our movie reviews, the Nerdcore. Go check it out. Just search us up, the Nerdcore. Yeah. If you're still listening past this point and you are not mad, then I'm glad this is the podcast for you where we can discuss such things as this in a very respectful manner and really go about it. We like to joke, and sometimes you gotta joke about stuff, man. Like, come on, man.
That's how I deal with life.
It's how we deal with life, man. It's also how we deal with the burden of being human. And I'm glad that that this movie kind of talked about that, and just the idea of how it really is to be human. And I think that that's when cinema works the best, is when it talks about the human condition. So if you are mad after this, then I'm sorry. Then I'm guessing we were never really the podcast for you. But talk to us respectfully, and we will gladly talk with you. But if not, then sorry. But other than that, it's been a wonderful time. Bradley, set up to the Quantum Leap podcast voice, something about that.
All right, Sam Beckett. Thank you for being host as always, Roll. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters there, all our listeners that are sticking with us. You know who you are. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all. We love coming on here, even talking about movies that might cause some controversy. Anyways, I am now going to go turn wine into air. Young Yoda out.